Gruden's resignation, the NFLPA plans to request that the league release the over 650,000 emails from the investigation surrounding the Washington football team. Lawyers for the NFLPA released a statement saying, quote, "It is truly outrageous that after the NFL's 10-month investigation involving hundreds of witnesses and 650,000 documents related to the longtime culture of harassment and abuse at the Washington football team, the only person to be held accountable and lose their job is the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders." So, Shannon, a lot here. What's going on?
Well, the NFLPA wants accountability, Skip. This started out as an investigation into workplace misconduct. The only guy to lose his job was a guy that never worked there.
His brother worked there, but he didn't.
So a guy that didn't work there, who wasn't employed at the time by the NFL, lost his job with 650,000 emails into workplace misconduct, and the guy that loses his job wasn't there to do the misconduct. So I want to know, what did Bruce Allen say? Skip, when we talk about, well, this is the way friends talk to we're friends. Okay, I got a group of friends. Me, Keith Burns, and Daryl McCormick. We talk, we curse, we say things. That's what we do. We friends. Okay, I call time, Deion Sanders, or I talk to Brooks. They don't curse. I don't curse in front of them.
Derek Brooks.
Brooks. I don't curse in front of them. We don't do that. You see how we are with friends? One group of friends, we talk one way. Another group of friends, we talk another way.
I got
So if you talking that way, if you sending emails about this to Bruce Allen, what is he saying in return? So I want to know in the work.
Well, you obviously do know.
Exactly.
You know exactly what.
And that's what the NFL. So what it looks to me is that they sacrificed John Gruden for the benefit of the big scheme. What the owner of the Washington football team, Skip, when you got 650,000 emails, it's hard to believe that the only communication happened between John Gruden and Bruce Allen. So was there any owner-to-owner communication? Was there any other GM-to-GM communication, or owner to GM, or any other people that might have thought and talked like John Gruden was talking? It's hard for me to see a scenario where that wasn't the case.
Agreed.
How the hell, if we doing a workplace misconduct, I get punished and I wasn't even there? You wasn't even looking at me. Oh, and Skip, and when you know how these things work, now we're talking about the Washington, the New York Times and the Washington Post. We're talking about papers that broke Watergate, Iran-Contra. This ain't no Adam Schefter. This is not our own Jay Glazer or Chris Mortensen leaking information. This is big time.
It was Wall Street Journal first.
Right. This is big time.
Yes, big time. Agreed.
So we know, see, because what they're trying to do is say John Gruden is an isolated incident. And the NFLPA said, nah, this is the tip of the iceberg. Because, Skip, it's one thing for a coach to talk like this. What if owners are communicating and saying things of this nature? Now we got a whole different ball game. And I think the NFL might be trying to protect, because you sacrificed John Gruden. Skip, what he said was wrong, and he probably should have. But Skip, he wasn't the point of emphasis in your investigation. How he getting caught up?
I don't know.
Skip,
it's a great question.
If I'm fishing for bass, I catch a catfish, I'm throwing it back because that ain't what I want. But why you keep the catfish?
They caught a shark.
Right? But here, no. But see, you caught the shark when it's the whale that you protected. That's the thing. We don't want him. So for me, Skip, it's a bad look. I understand the NFLPA wants, requested. I don't think it's going to happen, Skip.
It's not. Well, you saw the line in the story. An NFL spokesperson told USA Today that it had no plans to release those emails for confidentiality reasons.
So hold on. Skip, John Gruden don't get no confidentiality.
No, he does not.
So John Gruden don't get, so everybody else get protected except John Gruden. Now, I get it. John Gruden done brought a lot of people. He got the former coach of the Rams, Jeff Fisher, he having a comment. Everybody, and nobody was like, hold on, whoa, John, why I got to explain some things that happened years and years ago. Why you dragging me in this? And Bruce Allen said, no comment. Okay, just release.
And yet Bruce no longer works there.
Right. but the communication, it's hard for me to believe that one guy is talking one way and the other guy said, well, John, I don't really want to talk like that. Let's not talk like that. It seems to me that when one guy's communicating one way, the problem is the communication that's coming back, Skip, is very similar to the communication that went out. Skip, this is not a good look. The NFL is not looking good for him.
Okay. I preface what I'm about to say with the fact that we're both huge National Football League fans. We love the games. We love the product that is the National Football League, and it has never been better than it is right now.
That's what the ratings say.
That's what they say. Given that, this hit me right between the eyes. I tried to explain even to you yesterday that, wait a second, this got leaked on last Friday to the Wall Street Journal, the racist email.
Right.
So that was the tip of the iceberg, but only the tip.
Right.
But it appeared that the league thought the tip of the iceberg would be enough to move Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, to say, okay, I got to do what I got to do. John, you're gone.
Right.
But no, it didn't move him to do that. He dragged his feet and he sweated and fretted all weekend, hoping it would go away.
Right.
And then the Raiders laid an egg, obviously, on Sunday, and nothing had happened. And all of a sudden, another very serious, highly respected news outlet gets dropped in its lap. An avalanche of emails. It had to be leaked. Somebody in the league office had to say, we're going to do this to John Gruden.
Right.
So they leaked the avalanche that ended up pushing Mark. What's he going to do now?
He got no choice.
He's got no choice.
Right.
He's got to allow John to resign. When you know and I know he's done. He's fired. He's out, and almost certainly he's out of the National Football League for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I don't see how he gets back in there after saying some of the things that he said about the commissioner.
I mean, and plus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers removed him from their Ring of Honor. They pulled down the name. It's not going to be up there anymore because he also took a shot at the Glazer family.
Yeah.
Okay? So he just burned bridge after bridge after bridge. Okay, we get it. So, as you say, they sacrificed John Gruden because they wanted to send a message. We as a league are no longer like that. But you need a scapegoat. You need to demonize him.
Yes.
And again, neither of us in any way, shape, or form are defending 1 ounce of what John Gruden
it's indefensible.
said. It's indefensible. But they said, aha, we've got him.
Right.
So let's send the message to the world out there that we're the new NFL. We welcome inclusion. We are open-minded. Come one, come all. Well, to do that, you have to make an example of him.
Yes.
And he's the old way. That's not how we live anymore. We don't operate that way anymore, even though you can argue some of the owners probably do have that lingering mindset from the bad old days.
Well, you could release the emails and say we really don't think like that and let us judge for ourselves.
We could. And obviously the one that the lawyers call into question is the object of the investigation was Daniel Snyder in Washington. Okay? And yet he is part of the power structure. He is an owner.
Thank you.
And Roger Goodell is not an owner, so Roger is at the behest of what they want to do.
Yes.
Okay? So he can suggest maybe we should make an example of somebody, right? It's got to come from the top, but it's not his call in the end. It's the owner's call, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let me get this off my chest because this reminded me of my pet peevest story of all in the history of the National Football League, and it was Deflategate.
Right.
What happened? A similar circumstance happened. What happened with the New England Patriots dynasty? Well, they had a reputation for cheating.
Correct.
Going all the way back to videotaping, allegedly, the walkthroughs before their first Super Bowl and their second Super Bowl victory, that they were accused of videotaping the Saturday walkthroughs of their opponents, the Rams and the Panthers. Correct? Okay, so then they get busted, Belichick does, for Spygate. Got turned in by a guy who had worked under him as his defensive coordinator, our man Eric Mangini, and he's just flat out caught red-handed. And so they punish, but then weirdly, mysteriously, inexplicably, the tapes just disappear. Nobody knows where the tapes are. Okay, so the lingering perception of the Patriots are they get away with quote-unquote murder, right? And here we come to illegally deflated footballs, allegedly. And what do they say at this point? This is the 2014 season going into the postseason, right? they say, okay, Tom Brady's 37 years of age. He's near the end.
Right.
Okay, let's sacrifice him.
Correct.
Let's make an example out of Tom Brady. Let's vilify him. Let's incriminate him at halftime of the AFC Championship game in New England. Let's go in and check the footballs and bust him. And he will get blamed for it because Bill Belichick's going to call a press conference on the Saturday before they leave for the Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. In which he says, basically, don't look at me. Don't blame me. Go ask my quarterback. Right. Didn't he say that?
Yes.
Okay. So he is throwing his quarterback under the bus, and you can't tell me that wasn't the flashpoint beginning of the end of Brady-Belichick. So what does Brady do? Well, he's 37. It looks like he's on his last legs. And what does he do? He said, no, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm taking you to court.
Right.
He fought back and successfully fought back because he goes to the court in Manhattan, the first round that he could go to, and he won.
Right.
And it went to appellate court, to the appeals court in Indianapolis. Right. And at that point, as the season was approaching, and he was going to have to serve his 4-game suspension anyway, right, he finally ceased and desisted, but he had made his point. He got the judge in Manhattan, the first round, to say, you're right, and they're very wrong. They're completely out of bounds. Right. And the judge shredded the case against Tom Brady. Okay, and then what does he do? He clears his name by he keeps on keeping on playing.
Right.
Because he wasn't removed from the national